What's up, guys? It's your girl Rivah, and I am back again with another video. Now, listen, okay, this whole situation between Safaree and Mena has just escalated because Safaree has basically put all Mena's business out in the street. Okay, we've seen constantly Mena go on different platforms where she constantly, berates her ex-husband. She talks about how horrible he is as a father. She goes on these all these little promotional tours for her shows or for whatever it is that she has going on, and she always brings up her personal life. Now, the difference this time is that this is the first time that Safaree has ever directly spoken about this entire situation. So it all started actually with a social media post that Erica had posted recently. And in this post, Mena was, showing a calendar of when Safaree has spent time with their children. And she basically said that he had only seen his children 16 times this year. And so after that post was released, it kind of started like a little bit of her just, going on and on again. And it's very common that she does this after he posts something that's going on for him, right? So if he goes to an event, she'll post something. If he looks like he's having too much fun in life, she'll post something. Like anything that looks like he's being a little bit too happy without her, she's always going to bring up the fact that he is a quote-unquote deadbeat dad. So after all those posts, Mena actually yesterday went on her story and she decided to speak up a little bit about their situation.
So in my mentions this morning, I've come across a few comments stating, I don't feel sorry for her. She chose him. Why would you feel sorry for me? Since I've gotten on the scene in my late teens, I've been able to make a name for myself, and it's not because of who I dated or any type of affiliation. It's because of me, whether I've made mistakes, not knowing any better at the time, or whether I've accomplished things. Like everything that is under Mena came from me. Literally from me. And I gotta say, I've come a long way. Like music videos, like that era, reality TV. Now I'm doing movies. Like I've been able to do the damn thing. And I'm about to have my own show. That all came from me. Don't feel sorry for me. I've been doing very well. No need to feel sorry for me. Now, if you want to feel the embarrassment that I might be feeling because I'm a human, and if you're human, I'm sure, you can kind of understand where I'm going with that, then yeah, that's one thing. I'm human. There's moments where we are embarrassed. If anything, be embarrassed with me because shit. Look what I've been dealing with. And there's so much that honestly the world doesn't even know. But anyway, back to the comment. I chose him. Do y'all forget? I was chased for 3 years.
Okay, so again, the person said, I don't feel sorry for her and basically all the drama that she's constantly going through because she chose him. She took that time to talk about all of her business accomplishments. That has nothing to do with the price of tea. That has nothing to do with anything. And I'm going to be really honest. This is something that a lot of women do in these situations. You see, they equate the things that they are able to garner in their business life to them being a good woman or a whole woman, or their ability to garner positive relationship results. And those two things are not the same. Hence why you see a lot of these quote unquote boss chicks, all these women who got all these bags and shoes and this and that because they work so hard, and because they're a boss, a majority of them are chronically single because they're able to put their head in the sand and get the work done. But when it comes to stepping back and knowing your position within a relationship, a lot of women have trouble with that. So again, to me, this already so far is like, you already had this entire conversation recently on Cam Newton about, where you started and where you're going. So it was a little weird to me that she decided to do this whole entire rant on social media when, again, she's constantly done this campaign.
And I wasn't budging. Like, mofo had to go through my friends and my family just to get me to reply in a text, let alone give him any type of chance. And then when I did, so then the chance was finally given. And behind closed doors, when I finally started to get this chance, this individual was actually doing this whole PR rant, claiming he wanted to be married and have kids. So I was seeing the outside actions he was projecting, and then I was engaging in the chance I was giving, and boy, did he come hard. So it kind of matched, you know, and I was like, you know what? Anywho, the chance was given, and life took its course. Before you knew it, he was popping the question. And because this person went so hard, it was like hard not to believe, you know? Anywho.
Okay, him chasing you for 3 years, him wanting to be in a relationship with you, him wooing you, you know, you're saying PR stunt now because of your feelings, but if we're being really honest, you were captivated by this man, obviously, right? Regardless of the chasing or whatever, like, whenever you and him were actually in a relationship with each other, you were captivated by him. Hence what led to you guys getting married. And, you know, there's nothing wrong with saying that. It has nothing to do with PR stunt or trying to make it seem like just because it's the outcome is not what you want it to be does not mean that you guys weren't in love with each other at some point. And again, this is something that a lot of women do. When the relationship is done, they try to act like there was never love in the relationship. Like they never were into him. They never cared. They never, you know, he was just so obsessed with them and they just gave him the opportunity. And like, you know, it was all lies and deception. Come on.
This is another comment that I kind of have to address. Well, you gave him a second baby. Okay. Let me get on that one.
Hold up now. She did give him a second child, okay? We literally watched that on Love and Hip Hop at the time when he, you know, her ex-husband Safaree at the time stated that he did not want to have another child, and then all of a sudden she wound up pregnant with baby number 2. He was very vocal about the fact that he had the one child, he was okay with having the one child, and he did not want to, again, go back and have another child.
So I absolutely have to speak on this whole you gave him a second baby thing. Let's just state facts real quick. With King, my firstborn son, I had no idea I was pregnant until 5 months. I was getting my period, no symptoms at all. And yeah, 5 months pregnant. Had no idea. Years later, I get pregnant with Legend. Now, granted, yes, me and him were having issues, you know, after me having Sapphire, but we were still married and we were still going through that roller coaster of trying to fix our marriage. So with that process comes makeup sex a lot. Anywho, I went for my yearly checkup with Dr. Jackie, and boy, can she vouch for this because I still to this day have this video. I went for my annual checkup. And I was flat, no stomach, no symptoms. I actually just finished my period. And I go for my checkup. Dr. Jackie, pulling you in for this one. Because this was actually a very memorable day, I'm sure, for both of us. Anywho, she walks in, because I definitely peed in that cup, which came up positive, obviously, for pregnancy. Behind her comes this monitor to check my belly. And I was thrown off, but anyhow, she asks me if I wanted to know the good news or the bad news. And of course, I wanted the good news. And that's when she broke it to me. You're pregnant. And you're months and months and months pregnant. No way. I just had my period.
The thing is, right? You being shocked that you're pregnant and as far along pregnant as you are is one thing, but you knew that you were not taking any preventative measures to make sure that you were not going to become pregnant because you had already stated, and again, we watched this in real time on the TV show, that you wanted to have another child. So maybe you can be shocked with the timeline or how quick or whatever the case is, but the doctor herself is not going to know if you were actively trying or not actively trying, regardless of how shocked you seemed to be or didn't seem to be. And to be honest, none of this even matters, right? None of this even matters. The person stated that you had another child with him, and you did. Regardless of what was the dynamics of the situation, regardless of the background conversations, did you have another child with this person? Yes, you did.
Boy, did she put that monitor on my stomach, and Legend was there, full face, hand. I still have the video. He was grown. So to clarify me hiding pregnancy, when I found out, a week later he found out. So it wasn't hiding. So yeah, I didn't go all that time hiding that I was pregnant on purpose. I didn't even know I was pregnant. Literally had no idea. So as far as me giving him a second baby, no, God gave me a second baby, which actually is my third baby. And God does everything for a reason. So to be scrutinized for how things happen in my life, especially the blessing of having children, is pretty kind of weak. But I mean, you guys scrutinize me every day, calling me bitter because I call things out. But it's not even like I call these things out. You guys seen this individual literally dance his life away in Jamaica while his last born was in the ICU.
The deflection, right? And I know that some people probably like, okay, Rivah, we don't want to hear it, but I have to be honest, it's the deflection at this point, because you're saying it's not like you're bitter. It's not like you're the one calling things out, but people are saying these comments based off of you saying something, right? People aren't just jumping in your comment section talking about you gave him a second baby, you're bitter, you're that. If you had nothing to say when the relationship ended, no one would have anything to say either. But it's the fact that you're going out of your way to say, oh, he saw his kid 16 days out the month and this and that. And then people have opinions, and it is coming across that you are bitter. I'm going to be honest. It comes across, especially because, he did some kind of charity. She made a whole rant about that. You guys saw me react to it. She's done like a lot of different things where, based off of him looking like he's living his life a little bit too much, she gets upset and then pulls the deadbeat dad card. But in my opinion, I feel like if we're going to be really honest about the situation, I think that she is just extremely sour about the fact that the relationship did not work out. That's my strong opinion, right? It doesn't really have anything to do with him not being a good dad. It doesn't really have anything to do with his ability to take care of his children. I don't think it has anything to do with that. I think it's just her own feelings. Maybe her ego is hurt because, he had wanted to be with her and she dropped the ball and he realized that he no longer wanted that. Whatever the situation is, it's like a gut punch to her. And so the only way that she knows that she can get to him, it's not by her doing anything, because he doesn't want to be with her, right? It's not like if she goes on a date or if she has a dating show, or none of that's going to bother him. The only thing that's going to bother this man is if she comes for his parenting style, or she affects the way that he is able to communicate or not communicate with his kids.
Sorry, NICU. Ooh, God. NICU. The label came from his own actions. I didn't have to speak on it. You got. So yeah, and let's also, let's keep it funky. Clarification of those things. Yeah, I can't complain though, honestly. Us women, we make it work, man. If I ain't got childcare, those kids are definitely on set with me. And if you follow me, I don't play. If I gotta have my kids on set shooting movies with me, they are with me. Like, nothing has stopped this motion. Could it be easier if this individual chimed in and just took his weekly parenting time days? Of course. But, whether it does or doesn't, the world is still gonna go around while he, dances and, takes care of another man's children by lacing them with Rolexes. But misses out on, because I know this individual so well. I guess apparently now they have like a YouTube or something. How much more want to bet it's going to try to do a whole YouTube to give his pathetic reasons on why and if and dope and cuz and with his mama rooting for him.
So here she says, oh, I realize that he now has a YouTube channel, and, I can bet that he's going to talk about this entire situation, ha ha ha, with his mom rooting for him in the back. And, the thing is that this is the most calm I feel like that we've ever seen Erica Mena. Okay, this is the most calm that we've ever seen her. And I don't know if a little birdie told her something about the video being released, that it was going to be released this exact day, because it looks like she was trying to have this conversation as damage control. And then with a lot of women dudes, it's the same thing that we see women do all the time. It's in like the feminist handbook. They try to garner all the assistance of other women being on their side by saying, we women, we gonna figure it out anyway. It says moms, we're gonna be able to hold it down. They already trying to gather their troops to try to, make it seem like it's us women against these men. And again, it seems as though all of this, because like I said, it's strange to me that she posted this, because she just was on Cam Newton's show and she had this entire conversation talking about how horrible he was, how trashy of a parent he was. She talked about his mama in that video, and she's doing this all over again. And again, it just seems as though it's a form of damage control. That's what it seems like to me.
Him in the back. I have a feeling that's why these antics are kind of partaking right now as we speak. Just saying. And when this does happen, just be like, Erica was right.
So guys, this is when it all begins. Okay, so now after she posted that, hours passed, and Safaree, like I said, I don't know if it was a little birdie in her ear or what, that she got some kind of, she caught wind of what he was going to post in the same exact day. Safaree posted this YouTube video, guys, and put all her business in the street. Okay, he put everything out there. And again, this is new because he has never spoken about this situation. As much as she calls him all kinds of things, she tried to emasculate him, she disrespects him, she talks about his horrible parenting. She's constantly calling his name in every opportunity that she can. He's never said anything, but this time he sat down and took his time and laid it all out there. So we're gonna go ahead and press play, and we're gonna watch it together.
I don't even know where to start. But I'm putting everything out there because the fact that people, even whether you know me or not, there still has to be like a certain level of common sense when it comes to just being a judge of character. And this has nothing to do with TV at all, none of that. Like this is real life because kids are involved. And this deadbeat narrative, it's like, it's just so jarring to me. It does give me a headache sometimes, but then, I'm pretty good at just brushing things off. But, people who know me and especially know my situation, they're like, yo, how long are you gonna stay quiet? And I just, I be sparing people. And then at the same time, it's like, yo, it's nobody's business, but I feel like everybody just feels like they know my business and if it's reported, it's news, and that it's the truth and it's real. But I'm pretty sure that, there's some men out there who could relate to this. And when it comes to being a father in a co-parenting situation where somebody wants to have full control of every single thing and they can't have control, it's just not gonna be a easy transition.
Now, okay, guys, I'm not going to pause and play too much because I really want you guys to hear what he has to say. But I just want to address this. He talked about the fact that men, other men that have been in this situation are going to immediately understand where he's coming from or his point of view because, a lot of men have the bitter baby mama story. And I hate to say it, a lot of women don't like to be referred to as the bitter baby mama or referred to as bitter. They try to act like they're not bitter. They're so far removed from the situation that they don't want the man, that they're not heartbroken still, or they don't still have emotional feelings towards this person. They want to play this strong role, but to be honest, a lot of women fit into the narrative of being the quote unquote bitter, vindictive baby mama. It's just true. And a lot of men, unfortunately, are in positions that, women are the ones who go and run their mouth, right? Most of the time when a relationship is over or whatever the situation is, you'll see women on social media either throwing subliminals to their ex or trying to act like, they're on to bigger and better things and they, have evolved and grown since the relationship. The relationship could have been over 2 days ago. Okay. And these women will act like they are just on to bigger and better things. And, he was, dead weight holding me down. And a lot of men, unfortunately, because of the fact that they are not so talkative or going to run and go, defame the person that they were in a relationship with, a lot of narratives get painted around men or about men that are not true. And because the men do not step up and defend themselves, everybody takes it as law. Right? Oh, whatever she's saying must be true because he's not saying anything about it. But logic will let you know that most men do not defame, okay, the woman that they were in a relationship with, the woman that they had children with, because they understand their responsibility in choosing, staying, or being with this person. Unlike women will act like they were bamboozled, hoodwinked, right? Like, oh my gosh, I was, out of my mind to be in this relationship. They will completely play the victim when men are not going to do that. So anyway, I'm going to press play. And like I said, I'm not going to pause and play too much. Unless I feel like it's needed for me to say something. We're just gonna let this man speak.
Especially when the other person is just used to it being one way or very controlling or still wanting the whole family dynamic, and it's not there anymore. But I love my kids, and it's gotten to the point that I have to put myself first because I'm either going to end up in jail or worse because I'm dealing with someone whose anger management is just non-existent. When I first moved to Florida, I remember I got a 2-bedroom condo, and the first time I had my kids come over there after my divorce, and I started the whole, visitation, and having my kids for the days I was having them. When my kids first came over in my condo, it made me so depressed because I was like, I felt like they were so confined. And I didn't feel good about it. And I said, I gotta get a house. I need a house. I can't have my kids running around in this condo and hurting themselves and it just not being a fit to raise, 2 children in a co-parenting setup. And I found my house. And I'm gonna be all the way blunt and straight up with it. You know what I'm saying? Like I got this house because of my kids.
So this is the thing I want to say. You know, he mentioned about the co-parenting situation and how she wants control because the family dynamic is no longer what she wants it to be, which is everything that I said, right? Most of the time, these women, the only reason why they're bitter is because they can't be with the man, right? And be with the man in the way that they want to be with the man. Or they're just so flabbergasted with the, the realization that the man genuinely no longer wants anything to do with them. And they can't stomach that, right? So they get upset and they try to micromanage things to try to change whatever the situation is. So here he's saying that, that they were married, they were living in a large home where the kids had a lot of space. He left the situation, went and got a little condo, and he realized it wasn't big enough for them, and he got a home for his children. This is something that men normally do after breakups or divorces. Men are completely fine with having a little bachelor pad, right? Like having a small space, something that is functional, something that makes sense financially. Like they are completely okay with doing that. But a lot of times, again, when it comes to thinking of space and thinking of what logically is going to be the best benefit for their children, they're going to make those moves to go ahead and cover them in that way, right? Most of the time, women get the house, women go and they do all these things. And men are the ones who are trying to figure things out and making it, work with whatever means or whatever situation that they have. So here he's stating that the reason why he even got his house to begin with was only for his kids, because if it was not for the fact of his kids, he would have been fine staying in the condo.
I got this house for my kids. Seeing my kids be here running around, it's the best feeling, you know? You know, when you have children with somebody who, at the end of the day, it shouldn't even have happened, because I should have just noticed certain things when it came to parenting. You know, when you're with someone for 3 years and they have a child, and you probably saw the child 3 to 4 times because the child was put off to go live with somebody else. And, you kind of look past it when you don't have kids or you're not thinking about that. I never even was like, yo, why doesn't your son live here? And then when you finally get to have a conversation with the son and find out why, it's crazy. Imagine speaking to a child who's of age and knows what's going on. He's 16 years old. And he says, if I ever had to live with my mother, I would myself. I wouldn't make that up,
Let me ask you a question, okay? Why is it that women forget any of their, shortcomings or wrongdoings when they decide to go on the internet and berate, their ex or the father of their children? Why do they do that? Like, is it that they think that they are so perfect, or I think that they believe they're going to be able to verbally manipulate any situation to make it seem like it's everybody else's fault, and that they're going to be able to get out of it? Or they genuinely believe that their quote unquote crazy is going to keep this person in a bubble that they're not going to release certain information. But why would you even, just knowing your own situation, why would you come out here and constantly, draw this man out?
And it sucks that I gotta really just run this down because of this smear campaign and somebody who gets such a high on just talking about me and picking and choosing what kids you want to, have in the forefront and get whatever extra attention you get off of it. So I kind of just looked past certain things and thought that, maybe I could help and make things better. But when you aren't with somebody and it doesn't work out, and the two of you are just in a weird space and everything is a fight, especially in front of the kids. Like, I'm not gonna subject myself to that. My kids have never, ever seen me upset. My kids have never heard me yell.
Bitch, you're dead to me. You're dead to me. Yeah, you are too. You've been dead. You're gonna leave me more than I need you. No. Leave before I need you. Remember that. Nice flow, Linda. Yeah, go ahead. You too, bitch. Go ahead. Go ahead. Because your other two kids are gonna be miserable just like you. Oh, fuck all of y'all. Go ahead. Jerk off. Go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Okay, so here he had put on here the kids are in the car, and so she's arguing with somebody who's not even Safaree, right? She's arguing with a woman. I'm not sure who this woman is, but she's getting to a verbal argument with this woman. She got the kids in the car. You know, she is high on her emotions. She's slamming on the gas, slamming on the brake, swinging the car around, trying to, you know, peel out. And these are probably, which is not going to be, it's not a shocker, you know, some of the reasons why her marriage didn't work out. Obviously, right? But when you have children in these situations, I have to be honest and say this, and it might come off a little bit harsh, but I really mean no harm when I say it. But when women act these ways or act erratically in front of their children, you really have no respect for your children. You don't. Because it's like you completely, you know, or if you have this situation where you just see red and you forget your children are there, or, you know, you're not even thinking about them, that's a problem. That's a huge problem. That means that you have an issue that you have to work out, that you have to iron out. And, you know, when Safaree said, he made the statement saying, oh, you know, that he got married and had kids and that shouldn't have happened. A lot of women will take that and say, oh, so you trying to say you regret your kids? How terrible. Oh, I can't believe that you see these men are horrible. And no, he's saying logically that was a foolish decision. It does not mean that he does not love his kids. It does not mean that he's not going to be there and take care of his kids. He's just saying in hindsight, which hindsight is always 20/20, like that was not the best decision I could have made for my life or for my situation by having children with this person based off of all this drama that's constantly ensuing.
Hey, all because of you. All because of you. All because of you.
I don't argue. That's just not in me. But, you know, on the other hand, the other side, they don't operate or think the way I do. And when I have my kids and someone is pretty much trying to police and parent and like watch every single thing I'm doing and call, oh, who's there? Well, what's going on? It's just so unhealthy, so excessive, to the point where it just creates a lot of issues. Like, you can't pick and choose when it's okay to say, okay, the kids are good, and then if we're not, you know, in a good space, then it's a issue. You know, I've taken my kids to Jamaica. If I was such a bad parent, nobody's gonna let a man take the kids to Jamaica by myself. I didn't have no help, and I don't want a biscuit for it. I did it. You know, it just creates such a level of toxicity that it's better to just be like, you know what? I'm gonna deal with this through the courts, and when this thing gets sorted out how it's supposed to be sorted out, then okay, we'll figure it out. So for the past, you know, few months, that's what I've been dealing with when it came to, you know, looking for lawyers and just trying to figure out this whole thing, because my original standing order for this child support and the visitation and all of that, everything, it originated from Georgia. We moved to Florida. When we moved to Florida, everything has to get transferred over. It just got transferred over like this week. So now I get to find out what this new setup is going to be, because I refuse to go to her house to pick up the kids. I refuse. I'm not. It's just too unstable, too unpredictable, and the only way I would do it is either a police precinct, or if the kids are somewhere else and I'm picking them up from there.
So this is now addressing her whole he's seen them 16 days out the year thing that she said that she posted. He's basically saying, yeah, I did. Okay. And what about it? Right? I don't want to come pick them up from you. I don't want you dropping them to my house. I don't want that direct contact. And He stated, he's like, you know, to have his children in his care, and she's constantly calling or trying to cause drama. Where you going? What you doing? Who's there? Who's that? It's an uncomfortable situation. And to avoid the drama and the stress, okay, fine. You don't want the kids around me in a certain space. You don't like the fact that you don't know everything that I'm doing. Okay, you keep them until we figure this out through the court. Once we figure it out through the court, then I know that you can't call me and tell me what I'm doing, who I'm doing it with, where I'm going. You can't micromanage me. So if it's control you want, here you go. Take the kids. And I think that as women, we have to be very honest that a lot of men, the reason why the relationship with their children is severed is because you as a woman are getting in the way because of your own feelings, your own emotions. It has nothing to do with you. You and that man were strangers. You created these children that are his relatives. You are no longer a relative. You need to stay out the way and allow this man to parent his children. Like he said, when they're on good terms, she don't have nothing to say. But when the two of them are not on good terms, all of a sudden he's, you know, not capable of parenting his children effectively. And we've heard this story over and over again. This is not something that is, you know, just so strange or she's doing something so strange. This is right out of the Bitter Baby Mama handbook.
But everything is just done off of spite and being malicious intent on the other end. Me, I don't move like that. I don't live like that. You know, when people look at me, I don't look like I'm carrying stress. I don't look like I'm losing weight. I don't look like I'm just harboring so much hate inside me that it physically begins to show. And I'm a father. I'm a grown-ass man. When I have my kids in there with me, they're under my care. They don't have nothing to worry about. So I'm not gonna have anybody acting like they need to know every single thing going on. When I was filming Love and Hip Hop, Miami, and I had my kids here calling, oh, where the kids at? What they do? Oh, you better not be filming with the kids. Oh. First of all, I've never filmed with the kids ever by myself on Love and Hip Hop. They're not a part of my storyline. That doesn't make sense to me. I'm not gonna be in the park pushing the kids, playing, oh yeah, oh, like, of course they wanted to see me film with them, but you know, both parents have to sign off on that, and you know that wasn't happening.
The reason why she didn't want, you know, him to be able to film with the kids is because if he is filming with the kids and it is showing his strong connection that he has with his children, when she comes on the internet to then try to defame him or try to say that he's a horrible dad, no one's going to listen to it because they've seen with their own eyes. So what she did is that she filmed with her kids on her own, right? She makes sure that she talks about, you know, constantly that he's such a bad father on her own so that, you know, nobody has the ability to see the other side of that.
And, you know, the last instant of when we had a transfer with the kids, it was, she called me and said, hey, I'm in the area. I could save you a trip. I could come pick the kids up. And I'm tired and I don't want to do the drive. And it was like really like early in the morning or whatever. So I'm like, all right, cool. I let her in, lay down in the kids' room. One of the kids was in there. Next to the kids was laying with me in my room. And when she gets up, she's like, she wants to have a conversation with me. I'm like, okay, let's talk. As soon as she starts talking, it's yelling, screaming, all of that. I said, yo, look, I'm not doing that. And if you can't talk to me normally in front of the kids, where the kids don't realize that we're having a discussion about something that we're not agreeing on, then I'm not having it. Oh, I don't give a F, blah, 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 all this yelling, whatever. So I'm like, okay, forget it. Just, you know, you here, pick them up, you can leave. And in my face, all of that, blah, 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 and all that. So I'm like, all right, you don't want to leave. I call the cops. I'm on the phone with the cops. I'm telling them, hey, you know, before this escalates, I would like police presence here because I want her to leave.
Now, this is something that, you know, I know that this is what grinds her gears when it comes to this man, because she doesn't have an in. right? She tries to use the kids to her advantage, doesn't work. She tries to use her tactics of being crazy and you know, just being boisterous and all this kind of stuff, doesn't work, because in everything he's doing, he's protecting himself. Oh, okay, you want to act crazy? I'm calling the police. Oh, okay, you want to do that? Okay, keep the kids. And it's because of her inability, as he said in the beginning of the video, to control the situation that makes her so angry, because all of the feelings that she has pent up inside, he does not give her the ability to release them or relinquish them onto him whenever she feels like it. And a lot of these women feel like they should have the ability to have access to you, to call you and cuss you out whenever they feel like it. And you as a man, you're just supposed to be able to take it. They should be able to, you know, take your life and just swing it left and right however they see fit, and you should just take it. And when you are not willing to do so, or when you have cut them off completely, they have the hardest time dealing with it.
Filming me calling the cops. Okay, I'm calling the cops, you're filming me. You're the one with the anger management problem just going off. So break stuff up in the house, has the kids running over glass, breaking stuff up outside. After that, I just was like, you know what? If I can't pick up my kids in a place that is like a drop-off point or a police precinct, I'm not picking them up, because I'm not going to her house ever again in life. My daughter, she has an iPad. I'm blocked on the iPad. My daughter's 4 years old. She doesn't know how to block people. She doesn't even know how to text.
I'm telling you, there's a Bitter Baby Mama handbook. And I don't know where these women get the book from, but I feel like they all do the same things. And I'm going to be honest, you know, him saying that for his own safety, you know, because at the end of the day, all it takes is for them to, you know, her to go crazy on him and him do one thing and he's going to jail, right? So for him to protect himself and saying that, you know what, I will sacrifice my ability to see my children so that I don't have to deal with this, I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I completely agree, because at the end of the day, you have to self-preserve. Bottom line. And he said that he's waiting for things to get worked out by the court. The fact that he's even willing to go through the court system to rectify it, so he's able to find out how and when he's going to be able to work, you know, his schedule to be with his children, I think that speaks volumes. Okay? I'm going to be honest.
Childish, just like BS like that. So I'm like, okay. The next time I got my kids after that, before that, when I went and I was gonna get a restraining order, because, you know, she's doing stuff like showing up in my crib 5 o'clock in the morning, pulling out a ladder, hopping the fence.
Oh my God, what is that? Oh my God, what is that?
This is crazy.
Banging on my windows. My son's birthday party was like a month after that. No, like it was a while after that. And then when I went to the party, they said, hey, you want a restraining order, but you went to a party, she was there, so you must not be in that much fear. So I had to drop that case. And this is me having to have 2 different lawyers. So this is 2 separate lawyers for one lawyer for that, and another lawyer for this whole family court thing. And next time I got them, it was for, you know, beginning of the summer. And I was like, yo, I'll keep the kids for the summer. Let me know. My mother and my sister's here. They love being around them. They want to be around them. That's the issue. I can't reach my daughter's iPad. Pickup situation isn't sorted out. So when I finally do get them, I sign them up for summer camp.
The reason why he's blocked on a child's iPad is because since I came to your house, because this is what she did, we saw it on camera. She went to his house at 5 o'clock in the morning, hop in the fence, talking about she want to talk to him outside the window. when, you know, it's a problem and now me and you don't have that good, you know, friendship or strong connection anymore, then you can't talk to the kids unless you come through me. Control. If you want to talk to any of your kids, you have to come through me. Because I know you can call her and directly have a relationship with her. No, I'm going to make sure that you're not able to contact her. You're not able to have a conversation with her so that she can tell people that she haven't seen or heard from daddy in a long time.
She gets so mad at me for signing them up for summer camp. There's a summer camp by my house. She lives 40 minutes away from me. Summer camp. I'm like, cool, I got them. Let me at least do that. Because, you know, they were here. And my mother was like, yo, you can't just be having them here playing, whatever. She was like, they need some, you know, structure. Sign them up for summer camp. I was like, you know what? That's a good idea. I signed them up for the summer camp. I paid for it. I paid $2,000 to put them in summer camp. They went to summer camp for 3 days because she had such an issue with me putting them in summer camp by my house. And was like, why didn't I talk to her, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, okay, I have the kids, they're under my watch and care. I want to put them in a summer camp by me. And I'm gonna show y'all because it's like, not just talking just to talk, but put them in summer camp. This was the first month. This is what it was supposed to do. This is what it's supposed to be. This is the schedule. Summer camp July, boom, boom, boom. The entire month. This was going to be their schedule for the entire month. This is their lunch schedule. This is one of the things she made for me in one of the days that she was in summer camp. So I'm like, okay, what's wrong with putting the kids in summer camp? And it just was such a control thing, and it created it created so much drama. Oh, drop the kids off. Oh, you putting them in summer camp. Oh, just nothing made absolute any sense. Nothing. Like, it was just such an irate, ignorant conversation. Cause it's to the point where we don't even speak direct. Like, my house is set up for them. I got their shrine set up. This is for them. This is their area. You walk in, this is Maji's room. Ain't no deadbeat doing this. Deadbeats ain't doing this. My daughter's room is bigger than some adults' rooms. And
I'm not gonna lie, deadbeats not doing that. I gotta be honest. Deadbeats are genuinely not signing nobody up for summer camp. Deadbeats are not decorating no room. If it was true that it was a deadbeat narrative, they would have stayed in the apartment. Okay, a deadbeat would have stayed in the condo and said, you know, I don't know what to tell you because I don't got no space. Like, that's how that situation would have went, to be genuinely honest. And I think that, you know, signing a child up for summer camp, not that this matters. I think this is very minimal besides everything else we've seen. But signing a child up for summer camp, I think, is a very smart thing to do, especially when it comes to them having a creative outlet, right? Them being able to learn things still especially while their brains are still developing. Instead of just having them, you know, at home with all this screen time, watching stuff continuously, waking up whenever, doing whatever. I think that them having the ability to get, you know, some learning in during the summertime is very important. And so I agree with his mom when she said that.
it's just so insane to me how people just, oh yeah, you're a deadbeat. Yo, I know about real deadbeats. And this situation is all about control. This woman texts a naked picture of me to my mother and my sister because she wanted to let them know that, oh, you and your son, I'm pretty sure your son's not telling.
Okay, this is wild. Okay, this is absolutely ridiculous. This is ridiculous. And again, over and over again, it's showing the reasons why this man wants nothing to do with you. You know, it's clear. And so he said she sent a naked picture of him to his mother and to his sister, and then text this message, and it said, I figured since I know your son is such a liar, and since I know he lies on me all the time to you and your daughter, just figured I'd inform you of him being up in my bed last night. It's ironic how he paints me out to be such a hateful monster, but yet won't leave me alone. Okay, this is not a good look, honey. You showing the fact that you have been intimate with this person, but then you're calling him all kind of deadbeat and all kind of crazy, that negates your whole story. You're trying to negate your own story to his mother and to his sister, but that negates your whole argument. Him being such a horrible father, him not being present, him being this, him being that. You know, you're negating everything by you showing this video of the two of you being in, or this picture of the two of you because he came over and he was intimate with you. And again, this is why most men don't even give their baby mothers the time of day, because they know that this is all they really are looking for. They want their own validation, right? And so validation can come in the form of him sleeping with her, him being up on the phone with her, him, you know, snuggling up with her, whatever, her being able to call him and get him any chance she gets. Like, any form of validation is like, it's amazing for them. It makes them feel like they can conquer the world. But you sending this picture of him to his mama and his sister this is on the list of the reasons why he wanted nothing to do with you.
You what's really going on between us and all of this other nonsense. Okay. Me and you are still, you know, having a relationship, and that's over with. Thank God that's over with. Like, you know, I prayed about that, and there's absolutely nothing physical going on anymore. And you taking naked pictures and sending it to my mother and my sister to do what and prove what?
Okay, but Safaree, let me say this, Safaree. You was tripping by doing that. You was tripping. You sleeping with this woman who has gone crazy, you know, constantly on social media. You was tripping. And I'm going to be honest, I personally believe, this is my opinion, that he maybe did this because he thought that he was going to be able to cool the flame. Like, oh, okay, she doing all this tripping, she acting crazy. All right, cool. Let me do this. Since this is what she's been begging for so long, let me do this. And then, you know, maybe everything will be cool. Everybody be cool, calm, and collected. Wrong. It's literally that's going to backfire every time. Every single time. That's going to make her feel like she can come to your house at 5 o'clock in the morning, knock on the window. That's going to make it seem like she has control, or she, you know, is over you and can tell you, oh, who you with, where you going. It's going to only add fuel to that situation.
My mother and my sister are the most least problematic people on earth. My mother's not one of those mothers. She's not like a TV mother who's here acting rah-rah and doing a bunch of ignorant nonsense. Like, my mother is so calm and zen, and anyone who knows my mother and my sister and what they do, like my sister and my mom, they are in the holistic field. They're everything about them is zen, herbs, teas, spiritual. And you're sending naked pictures of me to my mother and my sister. For what? And it's like, that's the type of nonsense I have to deal with. I cannot ever pick up my kids in peace. Everything is just long and drawn out. And it's just so unfair that when a woman says something, no matter what, it's like, oh, it's the man's fault. People are like, but you didn't know. And I'm kind of like, you know what? Well, I thought I could make somebody not be just like as angry. But then when things just started like going sour and not working out, it just became it's just not even realistic to deal with.
I want to say this, you know, a lot of people had this to say. They're like, oh, you know, Safaree, you knew who she was before. You saw she was acting crazy on Love and Hip Hop before. She was always fighting. She was a whole bunch of drama. But I'm going to be honest, even me, okay, a viewer, when Erica Mena got with Safaree, we saw a very different Erica Mena. I got to be honest. She was more calm. She was more reserved. You know, she was not trying to fight nobody. She was more emotional. Like, she was definitely more, it looked as though she changed a lot. And I know the reason why. The reason why is because he gave her a sense of identity. Right? Regardless of, you know, you being video vixen and this and that, you having to be rah-rah and fight. I see you. I'm here for you. I care for you. You know, genuine love, genuine attention, genuine affect, like all those things, you could see it verbatim. Hence why she kind of changed her tune. However, the issue is that, you know, Erica has these deep-rooted trauma issues, right? And listen, I'm not calling this out to act like anybody is perfect and nobody else don't have no flaws. No, but we've heard her story. We've seen how many different interviews. She has deeper rooted issues that trigger her to react in certain ways when it comes to anger, right? And it's not just with Safaree. We've seen it happen with literally Spice when she called her the monkey or whatever the case is. Like, this is something that she has an issue with when it comes to her anger. She got into this relationship with this man and she thought that he was supposed to take her and all that comes with it. However, she did not present this whole attitude, disrespect, nasty nature to him in the beginning. She kind of waited and then reverted back to her old ways. Now, once she reverted back to those old ways, he was like, I want nothing to do with that. What a lot of women do in this time, instead of trying to effectively work on the problem or trying to say, you know what, I've changed, and since I've changed, I'm going to deal with this in a different manner, they revert even further, right? So if I was at a level 2 and you brought me to a level 8, I'm now going to -10. That's exactly what happens over and over again. And the more that they are constantly doing these destructive things to push this man away, the harder it is for them to deal with. And then they just keep on adding to the destruction because they don't know what to do because they've lost control. And I'm going to be honest, I genuinely believe that she loved him. I don't think that any of that was made up. I think he loved her as well. I think the two of them, were working on something that could have been very promising. But I think that that trauma and those problems got in the way. And like I said, it spiraled into, she just lost control and it just kept going on and on and on.
I saw somebody say one time and I totally felt it. And if you're a father, I know you could relate to this. And it's like, they're like, yo, when you're dealing with a woman who makes you being a parent, they just make it so hard. It is so draining dealing with someone who's trying to draw you out, someone who wants a reaction from you, someone who talks about you nonstop because they want a reaction. I'm not one of those people. I don't care about people liking me and caring and proving my point. Like, hey guys, look, no, this isn't true. This is what's really happening. People who know me, my mouth has been quiet for years. I don't say nothing. It's just so draining. Like, everything about it. Like, her own family is going after her for child support because she doesn't do anything to help her son. So then to try to make it seem like I'm some deadbeat and I'm not trying to be there for my kids, I would love to be there for my kids, but it would be nice for you to get out the way. Let me be a father. Let me take my kids and go wherever I want with them. My kids are never in danger. They don't ever have to worry about nothing. This is not about money. This is not about child support. My kids love me.
But mommy she was missing you. She was looking for you.
They have some cute kids. I'm not gonna lie, these kids are very cute. They're very, very beautiful kids. But even that little clip of their daughter, kicking and screaming and saying that she doesn't want to go to mommy's house, it does not mean that baby doesn't love her mommy, right? It doesn't mean that she don't want to be up under her mommy. I don't know if that's the narrative he was trying to play, or I think he was just trying to expose that if he's such a bad dad, no child is gonna want to cry and stay with them, right? And I think it's extremely hard for those children at the age that they're at because they're so small, and especially the daughter, she was used to having two, mommy and daddy, in the same place, and now the fact that she has to choose. I'm so happy being with my daddy. I'm so happy I get to spend time with him. And now I have to go to my mommy's house when I'm not going to see my daddy. It's hard for their little minds to even be able to fathom the idea of having to do that. So it's a sad situation, and nobody wins when a family feuds. And as much as these women put themselves in the position, they're constantly hurting their kids. Not the man, their kids.
I just want to say, doing shit like this don't benefit me. This don't help me. Like, I don't like this kind of attention. That's why I usually never say anything. But this thing has been going on for so long that it's like, how much longer am I gonna let Ish slide? You know, it's so much. It's just so much things to list and name. Like, I would have to sit there with a pen and pad and write down every single incident and all that. But I don't. I'm doing this one and one time only. Like, but it's just a lot of corny shit. All the fake Instagram pages, harassing my mother, harassing my sister. If I'm talking to a girl, all of a sudden the girl starts getting harassed from the same fake Instagram names. And it's like, yo, it takes so much energy to like be like that. And I don't have that type of energy. Even doing this right now is giving me such a headache. And I'm not the kind of person to get headaches. My head is pounding right now just talking about all this. But, you know, at the end of the day, I'm going to let, you know, God is going to do what God is going to do. And that's going to be that. Like, this ain't no, it's not a storyline. I'm not on Love and Hip Hop. This is my real life right now. I'm tired. You know, I heard somebody one time say, like, when you go through things in life, nothing stays the same, nothing lasts forever. And that's kind of how I've been dealing with this. Like, you know, even with as long as I've, you know, not seen my kids, because, you know, whether it's right or wrong, I'm just standing on, yo, I'm not going to your house to pick up the kids. I don't, precinct or somebody from your family's house.
This one says, hey Lisa Ninja Turtle, Bebe told me you have the kids. Let me know about me picking them up. I've been asking about them and trying to call Maji iPad, but I must be blocked on it. Unblock me if you can on it. I know Maji doesn't know how to block me, and I'm sure you want some time to yourself. I wanted to keep them for a month, but I'm not playing any kitty games about it. So it looks like Lisa is somebody that's connected to Erica, which that's the same person she was arguing with in the car. So whoever this person is that is still trying to keep some kind of communication open with him, it looks like this is somebody that's maybe connected to Erica.
I don't have no issue with going over there, and that's that. But like, I'm not putting myself in any position to crash out, potentially snap, lose my, like, come on, because there's people who be in situations like this. Everyone's not able to like be this cool. This shit is draining. When you get to a certain age in life, like, yo, drama and just all of this corny nonsense and fighting and arguing on the internet, putting your personal business on the internet, on social media, to people who don't, like, yo, I don't want no one to feel sorry for me. I don't need sympathy. I don't need pity. I don't care about none of that from nobody. I know at the end of the day what's going on, and that's that. I'm just dealing with someone who doesn't deal with logic. They deal with their way or no way. And if it's not their way, you're gonna get harassed. And I don't got time, yo, I don't care what nobody's doing. I'm not harassing you. You DMing girls that I was talking to and telling them shit and saying, it's like, yo, it's corny. Yo.
Yeah, it comes to a point that you know, these men are just like, when are you gonna move on? You know, when are you gonna move on? And this is why it's so important to understand and know who you have kids with, because, you know, if she is not willing to evolve, change, or grow, you're gonna have to deal with this until your kids are big and grown. Hate to say it. The lucky thing is, you know, with this whole situation is the fact that he might have the ability, and he's very proactive in trying to, you know, use certain things to his advantage, like going through like the certain, you know, court system or whatever the case is, where at least they're going to put it into his hands on when he can see them and the amount of child support and stuff like that. But I mean, at the end of the day, still dealing with this woman, I mean, that's going to be until they big and grown.
I did that once. And when I did it, I didn't send pictures and videos and say, yo, look, this is what's happening. I just was like, yo, I want to talk to you because I like on some, hey, look, if this is who you dealing with, I just want to let you know that this is what's happening. And if y'all are dealing, then leave me alone. You know what I'm saying? But this ain't really about that. I'm just trying to have my time and my setup with my kids. My mother and my sister would love for me to bring them to New York and spend some time with them there. And it's just nothing is easy. Everything is a fight. And I don't fight, I don't argue, it's draining. I'm not doing it. So when all this court stuff is said and done, it is what it is. This is not about child support. So this thing it's not about money. It's way bigger than that. It's about let me be a father, stay out the way, and that's it. Stop trying to act like you don't care when you do care. Stop harassing my mother, stop harassing my sister, stop harassing anyone that's close to me. And this is not to bash. This is just the truth. This is just what it is. So that narrative that everyone just thinks is so cool to run, like you use common sense. If I haven't seen my kids, there is a reason. And this is the reason. You're going to see it. You're going to see everything.
So again, he's running back the videos of the situation that happened when he had to call the cops when she was in the house and they got into an argument. And then this is the video, the full-length video of her coming to the house at 5 a.m. We're using this ladder. Where she got the ladder from, I have no idea, but this is when she hopped his fence at 5 a.m. So we see her setting up the ladder. And what's crazy, she has on like a sports bra and shorts. This is not even like an outfit, like in random flip-flops. Like this woman ran out the house and drove 40 minutes. This is a bit much. If a man did this, women would be like, oh my gosh, you need to call the police, get a restraining order. Like, this is terrible. She's looking through the window, banging on the window. And clearly, you know, she's saying, Safaree, please, I just want to talk to you. Now, this is the situation where, you know, she drove 40 minutes to come pick up the kids, and she fell asleep because she didn't want to drive home, and he had her sleep in the room with their daughter. And she woke up, she wanted to have a conversation with him, and we see the date here. And June 5th, 2024, and she is grabbing him. He's on the phone trying to call the police. She's grabbing him and the kids. But it's really heartbreaking because the daughter is sitting there just watching it. It's really heartbreaking. We see, you know, he's trying to get out the door. She's trying to stop him from the door. And the whole time, the kids are just sitting here, observing, absorbing. He's constantly trying to get away from her, right? He's walking in circles. He's trying to walk out the door. He's doing everything to get away from this woman while he's on the phone with the police. And she is constantly trying to block him. She's trying to hit him. She's doing all of these things. And the daughter, you know what's heartbreaking is that the daughter is following them, trying to diffuse the situation at her. And she's so small. What is she, maybe like 3, 4 maybe? And she's so, you know, stressed out that she doesn't know what to do. She's just following them around thinking that maybe I'll be able to solve this problem somehow. This is now inflicting the same trauma onto your children. by behaving like this in front of them. You see, if they got into an argument in the room and she was acting this way and he had camera footage based off of his, you know, a camera that he had in his room or whatever the case is, I would still be like, girl, this is horrible, because if a man put his hands on you, we got to keep that same energy, because men definitely get abused in relationships, but they just don't say anything about it because everybody looks at it like, oh, you're a man, you could take it. But if it was like in a room, secluded, that's one thing. But you're literally in front of both of your children acting this way. And it's super dangerous. We see the baby go stand by the table, and she is throwing stuff off the table, breaking up his stuff. She went, she grabbed all the stuff, and now, look, there's broken things on the floor, and the kids have to step over the broken stuff on the floor to get outside to go with mommy. And this is the thing, she's calling them and saying, oh, come on, let's go. They're going to go. Because if you acting like this with this man, we don't want to be on the other end of that. She goes outside, she breaks another thing on his porch. And again, the kids are barefoot and they're having to walk around these things. It could have cut their foot. It could, like, it's just crazy. It's crazy. It's foolishness. It's not worth it. It's not. This is super toxic. And again, I want to say that the fact that he was able to speak up for himself, regardless of whatever the situation is, I think that that speaks volumes, because again, a lot of men don't have the opportunities to speak up. They don't have the platforms to speak up. While they baby mama is going around spreading whatever narrative to whoever will listen. Men, there's people who are, you know, strongly believing stories about men that women have told them without hearing the other side of the story. So I don't blame him for speaking up about this at all. I'd like to know what you guys think about this in the comment section down below. I know that this was a pretty lengthy video, but we needed to give it its due justice, because she has constantly spoken over and over again, and he needed the space to say whatever it is that he had to say. I'd like to know what you guys think about this in the comment section down below. Make sure you guys hit that subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up, and I will see you guys in the next one. Love you.